Ah, the item printer. One of the most broken and overpowered features introduced in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I mean that in the best way possible. Introduced in the Indigo Disc DLC update, the item printer, like Sword and Shield's Cramomatic before it, can generate useful and in some cases rare items you may normally never be able to get elsewhere. Unlike the Cramomatic, which required you to insert items from your bag to try and generate new items, the item printer instead allows you to generate new items by combining the material you get from knocking out Pokemon during the game with blueberry points you get from completing quests in the Blueberry Academy. The efficiency of the printer is determined by what type of materials you put into it, with the materials of some Pokemon valued at a much higher rate than others. You start off by paying 5 blueberry points, or BP for short, per item print, with the ability to print 10 items at once. After a certain amount of prints, you can start to upgrade your machine to Great and then Ultra rank, which also lowers the cost of BP per print. And then upon capturing Terrapagos and having printed 175 times, you can maximize the printer's rank to Master. The items you receive upon printing are random and are classed by the game as either being a normal item, a bronze item, a silver item, or a gold item. The items themselves have their own percentage of rarity, with gold items being the hardest to find. Upon using the printer, you will either see a silver aura start to emanate from it, or a gold aura with a slightly different sound effects. The spins with a gold aura will always guarantee you at least one item from the pool of 8 items classified as gold, while the silver aura spins don't guarantee you a gold item, but it is still possible to have them show up. While using the item printer in either the Ultra or Master rank, you have a 1 in 100 chance to trigger one of 2 rewards, a double item bonus, or the Pokéball Lotto. The double item bonus does exactly what it says. It prints double the items that would normally appear in a standard spin. This can be very useful if you're low on money in the game or a certain item. The Pokéball Lotto, however, is the feature you absolutely want to trigger. Upon activating the feature, the game will ignore the general item pool and instead choose from a pool of 25 available Pokeballs it can give you. With Pokeballs and Premier Balls classed as normal, Great Balls and Heal Balls classed as bronze, these 8 balls classed as silver, Luxury Balls classed as gold, and then finally, and most importantly, these 12 balls classed as rainbow, the rarest of rare balls you can find, with Master Balls being statistically the hardest to obtain. You're not always guaranteed to find one of these rare balls upon activating the Pokéball Lotto, but you have a pretty good chance. So just how hard is it to farm these items? And how likely is it you will find an additional Master Ball or Gold Bottle Cap, Ability Patch, etc.? Well, I wanted to put the item printer to the test, so I went and printed 10,000 items to try and see statistically just how hard it is to generate the hard-to-find ones. Now, printing 10,000 items equates to using the item printer 1,000 times, with 10 items being printed per attempt. The 10,000 is a base number, however, because different items will actually give you so much more than just one item per print. So the actual number from this experiment we expect to print is actually in excess of about 40,000. In terms of blueberry points, this equates to exactly 30,000 BP that we'll need. I had done a lot of Union Circle quests on my Twitch stream with chat, and had gathered an obscene amount of BP, 100,000 to be exact. So with a large amount of BP combined with about 14 months of Pokemon materials collected under my belt, I was almost ready. But I wanted to make this interesting. I already had a lot of money and valuable items in the game after playing it non-stop for more than a year, so I wanted to get rid of all of it and start again from scratch. The solution? Sell all my valuable items for money, buy cheap items with the new money gained, sell those new items again for half the price, and then repeat until I get down to 0 Poké Dollars. But now with no valuable items on me at all, and me being flat out now Poké broke, it was time to make my way to the League Club room to try my hand at getting it all back. Now for this test, I wanted to take note of several factors. Number 1, how many times I print, with 1,000 being the end goal. Number 2, how many times the item printer will generate a gold spin. Number 3, how many times the double item bonus will trigger. And number 4, how many times the Pokéball Lotto will trigger. The double item bonus has the chance of also triggering the gold aura instead of a silver one, but for this test I will only count the gold auras from standard spins. With that in mind, here's how it all turned out. Now, for each time I printed during my experiment, I wrote down the corresponding spin in a notebook, with 100 prints taking just under 45 minutes each. Reaching 1,000 prints took about 8 hours, but that was the easy part. The hard part was inputting all of that data into a spreadsheet. My time with the item printer started out slow. As you can see, it took me 24 spins to activate the 1% double item bonus for the first time, which resulted in a rather underwhelming spin with no gold items at all, but a lot of small candy. Very nice. It wasn't until spin 37 until I triggered my first Pokeball Lotto. This was it, the moment I'd been waiting for. What amazing ball was I about to receive? The answer, again, rather underwhelmingly, was none. Yep. Literally the best thing to come out of this first Pokeball Lotto spin were 5 luxury balls. Fantastic. Surely it couldn't get any unluckier from here, right? Well, turns out it can, because my next 2 Pokeball Lottos activated on spins 66 and 73 also both resulted in no rare Pokeballs. Truly almost a rarer sequence of events to occur within itself. Spin 78, however, was when my dry spell ended. A single rainbow rare ball, which resulted in being a heavy ball. Truly a sign my luck was turning around. And it didn't take long before more special balls started coming my way, with spin 84 netting me 3 rainbow rare balls, including the ever-elusive Beast Ball, while spin 97 yielded me 3 more rainbow rare balls. So from my first 100 prints, I triggered 65 standard silver aura spins, 26 gold aura spins, 3 double item bonuses, and 6 Pokeball Lotto bonuses. Would things get better or worse from here? Well, it turns out, better. My second 100 prints netted me slightly less standard spins than previously, as well as a surprising amount of double item bonuses. While I only triggered the Pokeball Lotto 5 times during this block of 100, spin 194 finally gifted me what I had been hoping for, a Master Ball, as well as another Beast Ball. And it was only up from here, with my third 100 spins netting me 17 rare balls, including 2 more Master Balls. Things remained pretty consistent over the next few hundred spins, with me generally triggering the rough same amount of spins per category. From the 501st spin to 600th, things really started to heat up, because I managed to trigger the Pokeball Lotto 13 times, which resulted in 26 more rare balls, including 2 more Master Balls. Spin 601 to 700 resulted in 12 Pokeball Lotto triggers and 30 rare balls, including 1 more Master Ball, while spin 701 to 800 resulted in a whopping 15 Pokeball Lottos triggered. This netted me 33 more rare balls gained, including an astonishing 4 Master Balls. It was during this period from 701 to 800, however, when the worst thing could have happened. I ran out of materials after 745 print jobs. So close to 1,000, yet so far. How would I continue the road to 1,000, and what was the quickest way to farm extra materials? The solution is in fact quite easy. HAPPINY dust is one of the 4 materials in the game, valued at 68% per item. And where is a place in the game that has a relatively flat surface with a ton of Chansey and Blissey? None other than the northernmost area of Paldea near the Fairy Team Star base. If you need to farm HAPPINY dust yourself, simply fly to North Province Area 3 and make a normal encounter power sandwich. Sandwich 34, the Ultra Curry and Rice style sandwich, is really good for this. It requires no Herba Mystica and it spawns Chansey and Blissey en masse with encounter power 2. The Chansey here can drop up to 3 HAPPINY dust each, while the Blissey can drop up to 4. Collecting 999 HAPPINY dust takes less than half an hour if you're efficient enough, which translates into about 66 more turns at the item printer. I would need to revisit this area a couple more times in order to reach 1,000 prints. But back to printing. Prints 801 to 900 resulted in 9 more Pokeball Lottos triggered and 1 additional Master Ball, while the final 100 prints resulted in 5 Pokeball Lottos triggered and sadly no new Master Balls. Finally, I had hit 1,000 spins on the item printer and my experiment was complete. All in all, from the 1,000 times printed, 593 of the prints triggered a spin with a standard silver aura, 258 of the prints triggered a spin with a rarer gold aura, 63 of the prints triggered the ever so boring double item bonus, while 86 of the prints triggered the sought after Pokeball Lotto. Looking at the results from the Pokeball Lotto's perspective, you can see the exact spin each one was triggered on this table here. From my Pokeball Lotto spins, I gained 181 special Pokeballs from the 86 times the Pokeball Lotto was triggered, while 11 of the 86 Pokeball Lottos triggered yielded no special rare balls at all. The highest number of rainbow rare balls I got in one spin was 5, which occurred on 3 separate occasions. Ignore the YouTube thumbnail, it's Photoshop. So from the 1,000 times I used the item printer, what exactly did I get? Well, I've broken that down into several tables. Let's start with the least valuable. As you can see at the top of the normal item pool table here, I completely maxed out my extra small experience candy, as well as honey, tiny mushroom, tiny bamboo shoot, and pretty feather. So I'll never really know exactly how many I printed. The 1% medical items all saw a net gain from the mid 200s to as high as a 428 increase with the max potions there. All the evolutionary stones saw a fairly equal, consistent increase, with the sunstone and leafstone obvious outliers. And the rest of the battle items here all saw an equal net gain also. Moving on to the bronze items, I managed to max out my small and medium experience candy, as well as the pearl, stardust, big bamboo shoot, big mushroom, and rare bone. My 1% rarity Pokevitamin items all saw a significant increase, which will come in handy when we need to EV train a mon for the next 7-star Mightiest Mark raids. PP Max, however, only has a 0.2 rarity and only saw an increase of 38. The basic strawberry, love, and berry sweets used to evolve Milcery into alchemy all saw a decent gain. Too bad I've already got all the ones I'll ever need. While the remaining 0.5% evolutionary and battle items all saw a similar equal increase as well. Looking at the items in the silver item pool, it's very clear that Terra shards are a dime a dozen. I already had a lot of shards prior to printing, and I didn't want to get rid of them for fear I wouldn't get as many back in return. In hindsight, I definitely could have gotten rid of them, because even the grass Terra shards here, which I had the least amount of before printing, saw an increase of at least 513. Oddly here, I managed to completely max out my large experience candy, while my extra large experience candy only saw an increase of 212. This is due to the fact that large candy simply drops much more per spin than the extra large candy. The sellable rare items here, including the big pearl, nugget, star feast, balm mushroom, pearl string, and comet shard, mostly all saw an increase in the 300s. The stellar Terra shards saw an increase of 343, which will absolutely come in handy for me later down the track. While the evolutionary items seen here all saw healthy net gains, including the chipped pot, used for evolving the rarer Antique Sinisty. Bottle caps, oddly, only saw an increase of 33, while ability capsules, which had the same 0.3% rarity and drop rate, saw an increase of 53. A bit odd, but you know, that's how it works sometimes. Second to last, we have the gold items, which all saw ridiculous gains. I mean, 508 big nuggets is just too many. Like, just selling these alone will result in more than 10 million Poké Dollars, which is more than you can actually hold in your wallets. I am very happy with the gold bottle caps, however, 96 printed. The lucky egg saw an increase of 71, the amulet coin, 104, the ability patch, 75, the masterpiece teacup used to evolve artisan form Poltergeist, 102, and then the rarest alchemy evolution items, the star and ribbon sweets, saw an increase of 67 and 60 respectively. And finally, the results for the Pokeball Lotto. Premier Balls and Pokeballs, again, I maxed out, so I'll never really know how many I got. But it's safe to say, at 15% rarity, definitely a few thousand. The bronze tier Great Balls and Heal Balls all saw a gain of 573 and 460 respectively. The silver tier 1.85% rarity Net Ball, Dive Ball, Nest Ball, Repeat Ball, Timer Ball, Dust Ball, and Quick Ball all saw similar-ish gains, while of course the 2.05% rarity Ultra Ball saw slightly more. The gold tier Luxury Ball saw an increase of 430, and finally, the Rainbow Rare Special Pokeballs in order from bottom of the list to top. I gained 14 Beast Balls, 16 Dream Balls, 19 Sport Balls, 17 Moon Balls, 18 Friend Balls, 13 Love Balls, 16 Heavy Balls, 15 Lure Balls, 13 Level Balls, 14 Fast Balls, 14 Safari Balls, and 12 Master Balls. Time to take these special balls, find a legendary Pokemon on the map, and begin the most epic of shiny oh yeah, that's the thing, isn't it, in this game? Well, this is how the hunt should have gone. There's always Gen 10, you Pokemon fans. So, as always, what did we learn from this? It's safe to say that the item printer is indeed one of the most crazy features that has ever been implemented into a Pokemon game. While it is overpowered, it is nice to see the Pokemon Company introduce these quality of life improvements to help players train their Pokemon easily with much less of the hassle. Do you need to print 1,000 times to farm these rare items? Absolutely not. Yep, the grand total of items printed from these 1,000 item printer spins did in fact exceed 40,000. While my first Master Ball in this experiment didn't appear until the 11th time I activated the Pokeball Lotto, my very first time activating the Pokeball Lotto casually when the DLC dropped saw me find a Master Ball first try. So all in all, it all comes down to patience, but just a tiny bit of luck also. And when I tried to sell all the items in the treasures section of the bag, it was simply just too much for the game to handle, something it also acknowledges. No game, I do not want to lose 25 million Poké Dollars from this transaction, thank you. But hey, give the item printer a try yourself and let me know in the comments what kind of items you found and how quickly. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to drop a like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot and allows me to continue making videos like this one. My name is Hylianstagram, but you can call me Matt, and as always, may all your shiny hunts be quick. Take care.